In 3, 2, 1. Good morning. Happy Monday. It could happen. It could happen. It's happening. It's February 12th, 10:45 in the morning here in Iowa. How you doing? We got a big snowstorm heading for New England, New York, and some of the big cities back east. Could get some big snows for a change. It's been a couple years. Will this be the one? Let's take a look and find out. This time it's personal. I've been sick, so sometimes my voice gets like this. I wish I could keep it all the time. It's kind of fun. Anyway, here are the watches and warnings across the country right now. We'll start way up in the panhandle of Idaho, north of Spokane and eastern Washington. That, my friends, is what? A winter storm watch? Or is that a winter weather advisory? We'll go with the latter. Winter weather advisories up there. Now, it's snowing pretty good right now in northwestern Arkansas and southeastern Missouri and a little bit of Oklahoma. Winter storm warnings there, surrounded by winter weather advisories, and those stretch into Kentucky. So as the day wears on, that thin slice of snow is going to be moving into the bluegrass state. There, I don't know why it didn't. Anyway, there it is, the bluegrass state. And it's a lot of rain with thunderstorms in the south. So we've got flood watches, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, into North Carolina and parts of Tennessee. Further south, severe weather, in fact, possible tornadoes. So we have a tornado watch for parts of Georgia into Florida. And we already have some flash flood warnings there in that deep red color are the flash flood warnings with heavy rainfall. Then further north from all of that, it's wind issues as you get into the coastal South Carolina and into North Carolina, also Virginia, parts of West Virginia, kind of wind. And then the storm that's dumping heavy snows right now in Arkansas and Missouri will be heading to New England. And it looks like it's going to be some big snows for New York City, into New Jersey, Pennsylvania, of course, New York State, upstate New York. Anything north of Albany is upstate. Then we've got Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, all in that winter storm watch, surrounded by winter weather advisories from that. So, big storm coming for New England. Here's the surface for today. And so we're seeing that heavy snow right now in Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, that little target area. But again, that thin slice of mix or snow moving through the Ohio Valley and then into the Northeast. As we go through time, we're talking heavy snow, Pennsylvania, New York City, right on the edge, Connecticut, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, Vermont, Rhode Island, heavy snow heading your way, even parts of New Jersey. So we'll talk more about that here in just a second. Further to the south, there's our severe weather threat today and the heavy rain. So heavy rain, flash flooding possible for a large area there, and then the severe thunderstorms possible as well, again with that tornado watch going right now, Georgia, Florida. So if you're in that area, you know what to do. Make sure you have a way to get warnings just in case. Tomorrow on the surface, heavy snow for New England, and then lighter snow, but lots of it. Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, South Dakota, North Dakota, and Minnesota finally getting some snow. How about that? Wisconsin too. And that area of snowfall might affect me here, I'm hoping, by Friday. So we'll see how that goes too. But right now we want to take a look and see how things look on the GFS model as it tries to predict the future. So we're starting at noon on Central Time today. So that's just an hour from now. And there's your heavy snow, northern Arkansas into Missouri, and it's heavy rain. And again, we have those flash flood warnings in some areas and a big area of flood watch here. So South Carolina getting soaked, Georgia really getting hit right now. And then back into Alabama, Tennessee, you've got some big rains. Remember yesterday on the GFS, we showed you a thunderstorm over Memphis. Looks like it's coming true this morning. And then again, that snow back behind it. And then up further north, there's our advisories, winter weather advisories into Idaho and Montana, and a little bit of rain for the coast of Washington. Now, as we go through time, we'll watch this low lifting into Tennessee and Georgia with some thunderstorms here and then snow on the backside. So Paducah and the Kentucky Lakes region getting some snow here and then back into Missouri. And this is just, 3-4 hours from now. And the heavy rains continuing for South Carolina, especially into North Carolina. Big rains now in Kentucky, Bowling Green about here, north of Nashville. So some heavy rains here. Some snow on the backside, maybe as far south as Memphis. And some heavy snow at times here. And then as we go later into this afternoon, the low starts to lift, takes the rain and snow with it, but snow on the backside. Bowling Green, heavy rain. Now, some heavy snow. It may be brief, but it might accumulate. Nashville might get into this. Cincinnati about here, so, southern Ohio might get some snow from this. And then it's starting to move into Pennsylvania. This is tonight at midnight Central Time. So that would be 1 a.m. for the East Coast tomorrow as that snow really starts to accumulate now into Pennsylvania. Lighter on the backside for West Virginia, Kentucky, but heavy snow now starting to move into northern New Jersey and into New York City. Heavy snow, New York City, northern New Jersey, back into Pennsylvania, even parts of Maryland here. And some pretty heavy snows too for Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts. This is tomorrow in the morning, 7 a.m. Then we get later in the day, not quite noontime. And man, that is coming down hard for New York City into New Jersey, parts of, again, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island. And this low, remember, where this low sets up is where you're going to, see your weather. If this low is just 50 miles further north, it's going to be rain in New York City and along the coast. If it's 50 miles a little further south, then the area of heavy snow is going to be a little further south. But this is the GFS latest run, and this is what it's showing us for tomorrow for New England. A big snowstorm for the big cities. And so we'll see how that plays out. You can see the isobars very close together. These are lines of equal pressure. And so you have a big pressure difference in a short amount of space, causes a lot of wind. So heavy snow and blowing around for New England throughout the day tomorrow. And then as fast as it moves in, it moves out. So I don't know if that'll keep the snowfall amounts lower because it's such a fast-moving storm. But while it snows, it's going to be heavy snow and blowing around as well. Kind of a break for the country once that moves out. And then we're watching this area of developing snowfall. It's on the light side, but here in South Dakota, looking pretty good. Rapid City, looks like some snow down into the Black Hills as well. And then it starts to move into northern Nebraska, other parts of South Dakota, into southern Minnesota. And remember, I live right here. Our forecast right now from the Weather Service is for rain on Thursday, Wednesday night, Thursday. And this is rain Wednesday night. Will it turn to snow? Well, maybe a little bit. It's not in our official forecast from the Weather Service, but the GFS model has a little bit of snow in here around midnight Wednesday night. And early Thursday morning, snow across northern Iowa, southern Minnesota, moving into Wisconsin. And then we have another storm moving along the coast of Oregon and Washington with a little bit of wind and a lot of rain. Inland, it's snowing, Idaho into Montana and Wyoming. And then this storm continues off to the east as Michigan gets some pretty good snows out of this deal. Rain for Indiana into Ohio. But yeah, this looks like good snow here for southern Michigan. This is very heavy rainfall along the Oregon coast and some pretty good snows in the Cascades as that Pacific storm moves in. Snow inland and the rain mainly on the wane as we get into late Thursday night. We've got some more snow up here in New York State, in Pennsylvania, a little bit of light snow in New Jersey, down towards New York City. Looks like it picks up a little bit as we get closer to Friday morning. This is still late Thursday night. Some pretty good snows coming in Connecticut, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Vermont, especially New York State, and some more light snow in my neck of the woods. This is almost Friday, and my official forecast is for snow on Friday. And according to GFS, it's kind of backed off on the snow. Yesterday we were showing this area, and it was heavier and lasting longer, but still some light snow into Iowa, into Nebraska, into Wyoming, and you can see a little cold front moving southward as well. So as our fortunes begin to change, we're getting a little bit more cold air for a larger area of the United States as we get later into February. This big break from winter couldn't last forever, so it's kind of coming into an end. But light snow's continuing as we get, this is Friday at noon now, Central Time. So Illinois, some light snow into Missouri, and then light snow also into Minnesota. And then we've got some rain for South Texas and another storm approaching the Pacific Northwest coast. It's not doing a very good job of advancing, but we have more snow moving eastward now. Heavier snow for West Virginia on this bad boy. This is Friday night, midnight Central Time. So 1 a.m. Saturday for the East Coast. Snow for much of Pennsylvania and New York State, moving into New York City, New Jersey, and also Massachusetts and Connecticut, and that moves further north. So, if New York City gets hit hard from this storm tomorrow, then it's not going to have a chance to melt and might add a little bit more as we get into next weekend. So winter is back, baby, kinda, sorta, as our next storm moves into California as we get into next weekend, Sunday, and a storm behind that with some heavy rain along the coast. They don't want to hear that yet, so I think I'll move on. Let's take a look at our temperature trends for the rest of February. This would be effective the 17th through the 21st. And much of the country now cooler than average. As we get later into February, the exception would be the West Coast, California, Nevada, the Four Corners region, a little warmer than average. So kind of flipping the fortunes there. And then for the precipitation, it's still an El Nino pattern. So California is still wetter than normal into the southwest. And as you get further east, the chances of above average precipitation starts to fall off, but still pretty much Rockies westward, a chance of above average precipitation, and then for the southeast and especially Florida. But it looks like a couple big storms heading for New England, and maybe a little bit of snow for us here in the Midwest, and also, parts of the Pacific Northwest, Montana, especially getting some more snow as winter is not done yet. And you know what? We'll keep you posted right here on the Weather Mike. Thanks for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.